Welcome back to the video. We are working on my 2001 Ram 3500 with the 24 valve Cummins in it. And we are working on doing the fuel crossover, injector crossover tubes. I keep messing up the name, but they're the, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the truck. And last video, if you're following along, basically we're trying to solve a fuel leak issue. It's leaking out of number 2, 3, 4, and I can't tell if 5 or 6 is leaking because they're too far back, but I went ahead and popped in new fuel lines. I'm not super crazy about the fitment of these. They're not OEM, they're in aftermarket bent ones. And I believe they're bent for a truck that has a delete for the box right here, because it is rubbing right there and this side over here. So I may switch back to the stock ones if this fixes the issue. What we're working with though is the leak is coming from the head right here. And let me show you what I believe is now leaking. So there's two mating surfaces on the fuel lines. You have the fuel line head, which you'll see when these come off. I'm not going to show how to take these off. I already did that in the last video, and it's kind of just repetitively taking them off and putting them back on at this point. So I'm going to skip over that and we'll get to the actual crossover tubes next. But let me open this up. So this is your injector crossover tube, and all it does is it sits right there, and you have this mating surface right here on the inside, and you have that mating surface right there that mates into the injector. And this is just a press fit. It just gets popped in, and when you crank down this bolt, it also pushes this in. These threads are primarily here so you can pull it out using a nifty little tool like this. So you can see the threads right there match, screw it on, and you're able to get a grip on there and pull them out because these are recessed in the head. So today we are installing new versions of these. My original thought process behind having issues was that the lines themselves, the mating surface was bad. I've since learned that these are, certain generations are not reusable, and this also has 223,000 miles on it. So likely there's some buildup or corrosion going on around these edges that are causing these not to seal properly. So I cleaned up the stock fuel line edges, and I was able to get them to seal fine against the VP44. I was able to get number 1 to seal, but these 3 have continued to cause me a problem. So that's what leads me to this. There's only 2 things. It's this piece and the line itself that mate together. And well, if it's not, it has to be one of those, and we already changed the line side. So that's why I'm doing this. But that's kind of, I just wanted to explain my process of where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this, and we'll get them off, get the fuel lines out of the way. And once we get to that point, I'll show you when we start pulling these off. These are Bosch right here. That is the part number. But if you just look up any basically 24 valve injector crossover tube, you'll find them. And there's, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a Torque Tools aftermarket tool in order to get that out. So hopefully this will do the trick. We'll see what happens, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this apart, and then I'll come back and meet you guys up when it's apart, and we'll see how this tool works out. We're at the point where I went ahead and got the first set out. This one's loose. I still got a couple more back there to do, but I want to test out this tool and see how this crossover tube looks, because I'm impatient and I want to see what's up. So allegedly all it does is thread on, which it does, so that's nice. And then allegedly you're supposed to be able to pull these suckers out that way. So might need a pry bar or something in a minute. Oh, nope, out she comes. Easy enough. Huh, so there's the O-rings right here. I do have replacement O-rings for the new ones. I don't know, it's hard to say. They look in decent shape. Let's see what this end looks like. That's actually corrosion and rust right there. So, I don't know, maybe not so good shape. Looking at the edge. No, never mind. Sealing surface looks a little jacky. So, I don't know if my old lines did this or what, but I don't know if you can tell the inner groove. Let me try and wipe this off. So there seems to be a little bit of an inner groove in there. I don't know, guys, you tell me. I mean, on the one hand it looks okay, but at the same time, I don't know. Well, maybe not. There are definitely some grooves in there. So also number 1 was able to seal, so maybe this isn't a great example. Let's set this here for now and then pop off number 2. This tool is freaking sick, but also might have some not so great O-rings, which could also potentially be why it's giving me a little, or why they're coming out so easily. Whew, maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, I definitely spoke too soon. That one does not want to come out as easily. Hold up. Let's try and get a pry bar in there or something. All right, I'm just using a socket extension to see if we can't pop this guy out. There we go. Good grief. That one's definitely stuck in there a little more than the other one. Oh, wow. So I actually got a busted O-ring right here. That thing is super trash. So leaking from here, the reason the O-ring is not supposed to be busted is you can actually let fuel get into the block a little bit. Well, maybe not. Don't quote me on that. Could be totally false, but that's definitely a bad O-ring. Turkey. I'm just looking at the part numbers real quick. I'm going to compare them to the new ones in a bit. Let's see what we got. So this one definitely got some rust on it like the other one did. Let's see now. Yeah, so you can kind of see that ring that's formed around the bottom there. Now, I don't know for sure if that's causing any issues. I don't see any corrosion or anything built up, but that ring around the bottom might be why it's not sealing. I'm not sure. I don't know. They don't look terrible, but I mean, that O-ring for sure is shot right there. I don't know, guys, but we're here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop the rest of these out, and we'll inspect them all together. The last couple ones. Oh, I'll grab that. All right, so I got this one out. On to this one. I'm gonna try something. I'm curious if you can just screw the tool in enough to get it to pull it out via turning motion, but maybe. Oh yeah, sick. So you can just twist it and get it to pop out and unseat that way by twisting it, basically by sucking it in like that. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that. So let's see, this one, some gnarly buildup right there. I don't know what that's about. Just rust off the this thing. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting them back in here, and then we'll do a one-for-one comparison when we're actually ready to do it. It's on number 5 back there. Dang, this is some bright reflections going on with the sun. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these last 2 out. All you're doing is just twisting this tool on, and once it's twisted all the way, you just keep twisting and it'll pop, and then you can pull it out by hand. So pretty neat little thing. I like it. Let's see if we can get number 5 real quick to pop out. Whoop. Nope, that one's not doing it. All right, pry bar time. Let's pull out number 5. I don't know what's with that. That looks freaking gross. See all that crap in there, whatever that's about. A lot of gunk just got pulled out with that one. So, yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Man, that's just all corrosion on these things. Wild. I know the outside doesn't really matter that much, but it's just like crazy. I did not expect to see that. So, number 5. Just gonna leave you off to the side. Last we gotta do is number 6 back there, and I'm just gonna get that one next. Okay, so just popped out number 6. Looks pretty good. Nothing too wild there. So 6, I don't think had any problems with sealing. But there you have it. O-ring is in good shape and all that. So now that these are off, let's go ahead and get the new ones in. Should be pretty fun. All right, so these new ones we got here. So this is one I already unpackaged, and then it also came. I got a the O-ring set with it. Wasn't sure if these are any kind of special diesel O-rings or if they're just normal O-rings, so I went ahead and just bought the set. I do have these sizes probably at the house, and I'm gonna go with that they're just normal O-rings. Harbor Freight or anywhere else you get them should be good enough. So let's just dump these guys out right there. Okay, put it off to the side. So all you're gonna do, as you might guess, take an O-ring, slide it on like that. There you go. We're just gonna pop these back in place, and they just get pressed back into place, literally by hand. I'm gonna wash my hands. Well, I want to make sure you don't get any dirt or anything in the actual thing. So now number 6 back there. If I can get the O-ring to seat. Might be better off using our tool in all honesty. So let's see if we can't get this on here and then We'll get something else to push on it a little bit harder. Well, you know, let's just do something we can see easily, see how these are supposed to go before we try doing the other ones. Man, I don't... Huh. Well... Oof. That's gonna be fun. I don't know. Honestly, maybe using the fuel lines themselves will be able to drive it in there. Let's get them all set in for now, then we'll see what we can do about getting these things to actually seat better. Okay, so even though we're dealing with kind of poor fitment with the way these fuel lines are bent, I'm just gonna deal with it, and we're just gonna put them back in. Just because I know the mating surfaces are all still pretty much brand new. So that's kind of what we're working with right here. I'm trying to get this first one in, and if we can get this one in, then should be good to go. And yeah, I can feel it. So it's like, it's slowly, there we go. I think it's slowly pushing that guy back into place. So if you're curious how to get these things back into place after you get them out, seems to be the best way as of right now anyway. Just using these guys and pushing them in. Now just bear in mind, these only get torqued down to about 28 foot-pounds, 29 foot-pounds, something in there, so you don't need to go ham. And then this one, and that one are the ones getting cracked for bleeding when it comes time. So just have to be aware of. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these. Pretty much same thing, we're just gonna line up our little guy right here into the thing. Line up that guy, and not cross-thread them, and get them in. So I'll meet up with you guys once we get this back together. And if you're looking for a video on the install and disassembly of these fuel lines, I'm going to go ahead and link it down in the description. There'll also be a video card that popped up earlier when I mentioned it, so that's where that comes from. But this part seems to be pretty straightforward, which is why I'm not really going into it. Pretty much what it looks like as you can see, because we're going to do the other fuel lines that are a lot more visible. So kind of what it looks like going on. And just got to get those guys kind of where they need to belong. But what we're gonna do, oof, come on. Essentially, we're just using these to put it on, as so, like such, I guess, I don't know. But first up, this guy. So get it kind of lined up as best you can. Like I said, your stock lines will fit better than these. And we just twist it down until it gets snug. Can't really get it anymore with my fingers that way. We grab our crowfoot, or I've also been using the adjustable short wrench because it gets in here better. And, well, actually that's going to be a pain in the butt to show because that one takes forever because it's a location. We'll do it this one, and you'll get the same idea. Alright, so now this thing is just about snug, 19 millimeter. And you won't be able to tell this, only I'll be able to tell, but it's getting tighter. Now it's getting like kind of tight, tighter, tighter, and then there it goes, it slides in. And now it's a lot looser. So it's just getting it over that whatever initial hump that's in there. Yeah, there you have it. So she's going in. Then once it gets down, you're going to want to grab this next piece. I'll show you in a second. All right, so now it's in there, kind of snug. Don't want to go too crazy. You can't do this for all of them just because the locations are kind of wacky. But set your torque wrench 28 foot-pounds, or I have it bound at 29. Just be a little safe. And get a cool little guy like this. Link also down in the description below. Seated on there. And then we're just going to torque it down that way. So there you go, easy enough, she's torqued. So I'm not torquing this one or these two because I got to crack them loose again to be able to bleed it, which you'll see in a bit. But yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and tighten and get the rest of the stuff back together. So for the reprime procedure, all I did was loosen up these. You can see it's about finger tight. That one, and that one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hop in the truck, crank it over for like 15 seconds or so, and that should be enough to get fuel to come out all of them, tighten them up, see what happens. Last time I did this, I forgot to plug in the VP44, Didn't forget to do that this time. Everything's buttoned back up. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, alrighty. Round one. Alright, roughly 15 seconds. Let's see what our lines look like. Okay, fresh fuel out of those two. Not out of the first one, so I'm going to lock up these two and get that first one cranking some more. So just cranked it over one more time. It got it to almost crank. Tighten up that front one. Let's go ahead and try it one more time. It should actually crank up this time. Run a little rough, and then should be good to go. Let's give it a shot. Almost. There we go. So it's going to be a little funky until it clears up. Point of the brake clean is get out the old fuel so I can see what's going on now. Still missing a cylinder. It should come through any second now. Missing the cylinder. Alright, now just screw it down. Cool. Well, we gotta turn it off, clean up. Well, it'll take a second. We gotta let the fuel drain out of here, but we'll run it for a little bit, and we'll see what we can do about making sure it's not leaking. Yeah, that's where we're at. Well guys, it's been a few days since I wrapped up the install on the new crossover tubes. It did take about 3 or 4 tries of loosening and retightening the bolts in order to get them to properly seat. But I think I got it. Number 1 and number 2 fully sealed, no seepage or anything. Number 3 and 4 have just the tiniest bit of seepage after a while of running, but it's not like trickling or anything like it was before. And even then, it might just be some residual. I can't really tell for sure. Not enough to notice a visual leak though. And then number 5 seems to have totally sealed, and I can't really tell about number 6 in the back. I got to do a little more investigating just to make sure. But moral of the story, the crossover tubes did fix the issue. So between that and the new lines, I guess it's expected, they both have brand new sealing surfaces. But if I had to give anyone advice, try the crossover tubes first and then cleaning up your existing tubes and see if that works. So crossover tubes are about 200 bucks. I got them from Diesel Auto Performance. It'll be down in the link in the description below, everything I bought in order to do this job. I hope you enjoyed. I'm pretty happy. This fuel issue has been a bane of my existence for a while now, and I couldn't be any happier that it's finally basically taken care of. I'm leaving the check valve in the line. If you're not tracking what happened with that, I was having hard starts a long time ago. Check valve temporarily fixed it. It was starting to come back. It seems to have kind of fixed itself in terms of, well, not fixed itself, the new crossover tubes I think fixed it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't let it sit for more than really a day or two without trying to start it, and it's cranked up so far. So I wouldn't say it's 100% fixed there, so I'm still leaving it in, but just something to be aware of. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a big relief off my shoulders anyway. I didn't want to go driving around potentially hauling stuff with a fuel leak. That's just not safe. It's not cool. It doesn't put my mind at ease. So pretty happy with how the second gen's running right now. And all in all, the old Cummins is doing good. So appreciate you guys watching. feel free to subscribe, and I'll definitely be putting more videos out on future modifications, future restoration plans. I still got a lot of stuff I want to do to this thing, but I am getting ready to move pretty soon here, so I'm kind of putting a lot of the mods and videos on hold for a while until after that's taken care of and sorted out. So I just don't really know what exactly is immediately to come. I don't want to make sure that family and everything like that is settled first before I continue with truck mods, which honestly are pretty low on the list of things in terms of when it comes to getting your life together. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, and feel free to subscribe.